Michaela Rena, the founder of the Tarot Academy. I have been working or reading the Hoodoo Tarot and find it quite interesting. Tarot is a divination tool and also a tool that can be used to observe who you are within. And if you allow it to tell you the story of things that you can or should or would be in the best interest to fix, then you're going to find yourself with cards that can really give you a bird's eye view of who you are on the inside. The challenging part when reading tarot is seeing the cards and the images and working at seeing how it applies in your real life. The beautiful part about the Hoodoo Tarot is that we get to see the culture of real life on the cards. And as I teach my students, that you must be able to recognize where that card fits in your real life. And so during activity time, one of those challenges for my students is to actually take a snapshot of their environment so they can see what card is being represented. They can identify that. Because it's one thing to see the pretty image on the card and say, oh, this looks like this, and that. Then to look at that card and see what does it look like in real life. Because that's the only way it's going to benefit anyone, is if you can see what it looks like in real life. Anyways, the card that I pulled today is the Three of Knives. So push that up there so you can see it. Three of Knives, or otherwise known as Three of Swords. Now, traditionally in the Rider-Waite deck, Rider-Waite-Smith deck, let me say that, it's a heart with three swords going through it. Just like that, right? And so when we see that, a lot of people get scared because they think it's about the relationship of a person's heart, as if they're going to be heartbroken. But it's so far from that, because swords only represent, or let me not say only, swords represent education. It represents communication. It represents legalities. It represents intuitive intellect. And so that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the heart in itself being that this is not a heartbreak card. What it can be saying is that the energy today will have you in mental dialogue with yourself and with other people about ideas and whether or not you're in agreement with those ideas, right? So you can become one mind or you can become scattered or chaotic. And so that three of swords, Three of Knives can definitely be chaos because it's different ideas clashing into one experience. And it doesn't allow that person to be able to have their own thought and then execute plans for their own thought. Now, tarot is never hard and fast, as in it doesn't mean that's what it is and that's what it's going to stay. It's a navigational tool so that you can make change. So when you see that energy approaching you, then that's your message or your alert that, oh, take the high road, or, oh, turn this way, go that way, don't say this thing, say that thing, right? You may have to keep a little bit more on guard or be willing to listen, but listen with the intent of seeing where it is that it resonates correctly for you. Let me go ahead and read what it says here for these Three of Knives. It says, And just so that you know, the plant that is connected to this is eucalyptus. The image is a wounded person. There you go. Against a bottle tree with broken bottles as a stray dog urinates on the loved one's grave. Triple ouch. The southern tradition of creating bottle trees is an Africanism from the Congo people who believed that spirits could reside in bottles. The idea was to capture any negative spirits and allow the sunlight to destroy them at dawn. The crepe myrtle tree grows throughout the South and was considered sacred by many root workers because it represents rejuvenation and God's promise to the faithful. So that's really interesting in the fact that the Three of Knives in this way has a dual message that there can be some negative energy out of in your space, a negative communication, but it doesn't have to stay that way. It can be hopeful. So I like this illustration of the crepe myrtle on here because it's not in blossom yet. But and anyone that knows what a crepe myrtle looks like, it's these beautiful pink or white foliage trees that blossom twice a year. And I mean, the wind blows and you see all those little leaves or those blossoms just float away in the sky. Well, it's really interesting that it's bare at that moment, but the tree still is there. It remains. So there is some hope, or there's a place of rejuvenation, but that means you have to pull yourself back from whatever that negative energy is that's being captured, right? So you might capture that in your ears. You might capture that even at the soul level. But remember to be like that crepe myrtle, that it is seasonal, and it does rejuvenate itself. And when it produces the most beautiful blossoms. So don't let the next couple of days get you flustered into negative conversation or aggressive communication. It's not necessary. It really isn't. And I've had to learn that as well. So that's the admonition for today. And then let all of that go, because you can't do anything about it. I like the fact that the grave is there, because basically it's saying some things just need to die. And the dog urinating on it, some things are just not valuable. Some conversations, some thoughts, some ideas are not valuable. And so it's okay, bury it, let it go. And that's the best that you can do. Well, that's today's card. I'll come back tomorrow with another daily card. You can visit the website, thetarotacademy.education, and we have a beautiful challenge that's posted in the group or in the program. So if you click on programs, you'll be able to find it. I'll make sure I put a link down below. And it is the Better You, the Tarot Challenge. Thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ashe.